These carp took over the Great Lakes, the world's largest freshwater body, when the US imported them from Asia to eat algae. Together with other invasive animals, they destroy the environment, choke out other species, and threaten humans. Every year, they cost the world $1.4 trillion worth of damage, equivalent to 5% of the global economy. So who are they, how did they end up here, and why don't American farmers eat them? While domestic pigs are the second most popular livestock, bringing in billions of dollars to the US, wild pigs are an annual $2.5 billion headache for this country. An adult wild boar has a lot of meat because it can weigh up to 400 pounds and reach 5 feet long. In fact, they can be bigger, like this 1,050-pound wild boar. That's why many centuries ago, Christopher Columbus and his expeditions brought them to America for food and hunting sports. However, their numbers have increased dramatically despite control efforts since 2014. Wild boars have escaped and adapted very well, giving birth to about 3 litters of 10 piglets each year. Today, there are about 6 million to 9 million out there, and Texas is the state with the most wild boars, about 2.6 million. About 50 miles east of Waco, Texas, a large field had several holes up to 5 feet wide and 3 feet deep. Grasslands originally intended for livestock are now seriously invaded by weeds. The farmer knew that a herd of wild boars visited the field with their long snouts yesterday. Many researchers call them the most destructive invasive species on Earth, causing nearly 300 native plant and animal species to rapidly decline. They sometimes appear in places they aren't welcome, such as golf courses, in front of people's houses, and a plane runway in 1988. Because of that, Texas has allowed farmers to kill wild boars year-round without limit. Many methods have been used, from remote-controlled traps to hunting from helicopters like famous pig hunter Ted Nugent. This farmer trapped about 61 wild boars last month, but a quality trap system also costs more than $350,000 USD. And under hunting pressure, smart wild boars know where to hide for safety temporarily. Texas has also allowed farmers to capture them alive and send them to slaughterhouses or restaurants as exotic meat dining, like this wild boar pepper dish at Caribbean Cange restaurant. However, many people are still afraid of eating wild boar meat because of flavor and hygiene issues. They think that wild boar meat is hard and smelly. Actually, this strong odor is only from old male pigs with a lot of testosterone hormone. So you should only choose young pigs or just cut off that part when processing, and the odor will be significantly reduced. Additionally, because wild boars will eat almost anything, they can carry nearly 40 different types of parasites. Swine brucellosis and pseudorabies are the most problematic because they are easily transmitted to domestic pigs and pose a threat to the pork industry. However, this can be completely avoided by cooking wild boar meat over low heat for a long time. If cooked properly, wild boar meat won't be gamey, but sweeter and firmer with 1/3 less fat. Every year, Texas holds the Wild Hog Cook-Off in Coachella to vote on the best wild boar dish and help people get familiar with this type of meat. In the 60s, Asian carp were imported from Asia to control algae and weeds in the Mississippi River. But now they have totaled up to 90% of all fish populations there. The US fishery industry lost $7 billion USD because of this most hated fish in America. There are 4 different types of them, and they outcompete other species by their feeding power and reproduction rate. They can give birth to 1 million eggs per year. Illinois rivers, once bustling with native sport fish like crappie and largemouth bass, are now filled with millions of invasive Asian carp. Some can even weigh up to 100 pounds and are 4 feet long. Furthermore, they scratch the ground when eating, which also affects the water quality. Although carp don't have front teeth, their back teeth look like ours and can crush hard-shelled species such as freshwater mussels, many of which have become extinct under this feeding power. Since their escape, Asian carp have swum more than 300 miles to the Great Lakes, which include 5 large freshwater lakes near the Canadian and American borders. So the US installed several layers of electric fences and called for commercial fishing. Fishermen in Tennessee have harvested more than 10 million pounds of carp since 2018. However, this can only be achieved during the cold season, because carp will be more active in warm water. While fish processing factories are popping up, many people still shake their heads at the idea of eating invasive carp. Perhaps partly because carp has a lot of bones, especially Y-shaped bones that are easy to catch and make filleting difficult. And the most important reason is that they think bottom feeders like carp are dirty. But actually, carp have a diverse natural diet like worms and insects like many other freshwater fish, and are generally cleaner than many that people widely consume like catfish. To avoid the muddy taste that people may complain about, carp should always be kept raw or chilled until 5 minutes before cooking. This is how many Europeans and Asians have prepared it since the Middle Ages. Apart from eating, American farmers can still use them as fertilizer. Just make sure it is buried at least 1 meter down to avoid attracting scavengers and stinking up the whole farm. And from 2022, don't call them Asian carp anymore. It has been renamed Kopi by the Federal Great Lakes Restoration Initiative to sound more attractive. Every minute, a coyote is killed. Although they are not prolific breeders, with only 1 litter of at most 7 pups born per year, their number is so large that people have organized large-scale hunting competitions since the 40s to reduce it. Now, more than 500,000 coyotes have been hunted each year in the US, making them the most killed native mammals. Coyotes can eat both plants and animals, and this makes them a major threat to both fruit and livestock farms. They are said to kill more than 300,000 heads of livestock each year and injure even more. The spread of the Neospora cannon parasite by coyotes can cause miscarriages and stillbirths, adding up to the loss of $188.5 million to the livestock industry each year. Not only that, in recent years, they have begun to move towards cities like Chicago and New York with even more aggressive behavior towards people and pets. Hunting and suffocating coyote dens with gas is the most popular method farmers have used so far. But perhaps the fastest way is to turn them into staple meats. However, coyotes look like dogs, and Americans aren't used to eating dog meat, so they don't know how to cook coyotes properly either. Moreover, people also see them as predators, which can carry diseases dangerous to humans, such as rabies and tapeworms. Therefore, the government still restricts the hunting and sale of coyote meat for commercial purposes. But many experienced farmers still consume coyotes because they think, why not eat what you hunt? In the 80s, these Southeast Asian pythons were brought to the Everglades, Florida as pets. Although some pythons were released into the wild because people could no longer keep them, the 1992 Hurricane Andrew's aftermath caused a massive escape. This marked the beginning of the native wildlife's worst nightmare. These adult Burmese pythons, which can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh more than 200 pounds, eat a lot. They even usurp the apex predator status of the American alligator because no species can defeat them in the wild. The mammal populations here have decreased significantly, with raccoons and opossums declining by 99.3%. Local farms have also been attacked, causing much concern for farmers over the years. The Florida Department of Fish and Wildlife estimates that there are between 100 and 300,000 Burmese pythons in the Everglades in 2023, but only 18,157 have been captured since 2000. Each year they give birth in large numbers, from 12 to 36 eggs, and Florida has opened many attractive python catching programs. Contractors are paid between $13 and $18 per hour. Freelancers earn $50 per python up to 4 feet long, plus $25 for each additional foot. They also receive $200 USD for each python nest removal. But this job is so dangerous that currently only 100 of the best python hunters are licensed here. Although snake meat may be delicious and is popular in many countries around the world, such as China and Thailand, American farmers cannot eat Burmese pythons because they are deadly. Like other apex predators, these pythons have very high levels of mercury. This is an extremely dangerous poison to the human nervous and reproductive system. But local pro-snake huntress Donna Kalal still eats Burmese python meat and eggs several times a year. She said that they can replace pork or chicken in recipes, but you should use a mercury test kit to know the level of toxins in the meat before cooking. So, what about you? Would you like to try eating meat from any invasive species? Let me know in the comments below. Hello my friends. Did you know Australia is the country with the highest mammal extinction rate in the world? More than 70% of Australia's native animals are found nowhere else on Earth, so a loss for Australia is also a loss for the world. One of the biggest threats to native species is feral cats. In today's video, we look at how Australian farmers deal with 6.3 million feral cats. Feral cats first appeared in the wild in the 1850s. To date, the number of feral cats in Australia is estimated at 1.4 to 6.3 million. Wild cats have become a haunting name for Australians, especially farmers. Feral cats are dangerous invasive species. They eat millions of other animals, causing ecological imbalance. They are considered perfect hunters, patient, silent, and adaptable. Many native animals are the perfect size prey for feral cats. Currently, many native species such as rats only exist in areas free of feral cats, such as some islands and fenced areas. Although they are in the same cat family, these stray cats are not cute at all. They are aggressive and cause a lot of damage. Specifically, feral cats are linked to the extinction of 25 species of native small and medium-sized mammals, and further threaten the existence of more than 100 other native species in Australia. Among them, estimates of the annual predation impact of feral cats on native wildlife in Australia show that 272 million birds, 470 million reptiles, 815 million mammals were killed. Along with the undetermined losses were invertebrates and amphibians. These massacres are often committed by feral cats living in the bush, but cats in town areas also kill large numbers of animals. Besides, they can also injure people. On the outside, feral cats can be difficult to distinguish from domestic cats. They have agile bodies, sharp senses, and good coordination that are very suitable for hunting. Wild cats live alone and are active at dawn and dusk. During the day, they tend to lie in sheltered areas, including rabbit holes, logs, or dense bushes. Feral cat populations are self-sustaining and able to reproduce successfully thanks to abundant food sources. On average, females give birth to 2 litters per year, the first in spring, the second in late summer and early fall. Under favorable conditions, baby wildcats remain with their mother until about 7 months of age. They then disperse and live alone. These individuals give birth to dozens of other litters of feral cats. Just like that, wildcats expanded their territory and invaded all of Australia. The number of feral cats suddenly increased, leading to a lack of food. Therefore, they tend to increase their hunting and attacking behavior to ensure survival. Like a leopard in the desert, the feral cat's gentle steps and sharp eyes are directed towards its prey. These unfortunate ducks will become today's meal. Usually, these birds will be the favorite prey of feral cats when they are hungry. Although the birds protested it was ineffective, they struggled desperately until feral cats tore them apart. In fact, attacking these small animals is quite easy for feral cats. This is a picture of a tiny wild cat attacking a deer. You're right, this absurd thing really happened. In a fight in the wild, victory always belongs to the fierce predators. Strength does not lie in greatness. The truly strong person is the one who survives to the end. The wild cat is such a strong person. They are small, but their attack power and brutality are enough to terrify their opponents. Not only do they attack wild animals, feral cats also attack pets when given the opportunity. Of course, your pet is no match for a wild predator. If not stopped in time, everything will get worse. Its outcome will probably be the same as the deer or deer just now. Feral cats also pose a threat to human health because they can carry infectious diseases such as rabies and respiratory infections. The Australian Feral Cat Reduction Action Plan begins, including direct measures to reduce feral cat numbers such as trapping and baiting. Cameras help plans execute better. Farmers will know how many stray cats are lurking around their area. In addition, the most effective form of controlling feral cats on a large scale is using poisonous bait. However, feral cat bait is only used in Western Australia. Many native animals in the area have developed resistance to this poison. In some parts of Australia, poisonous bait can pose a significant danger to wildlife. What was your first reaction when you saw this image? Don't let its appearance fool you. In fact, each of these cute wild cats can kill up to 1,000 native animals each year. This problem is getting worse, meaning that in some cases, the added pressure of feral cats could quickly push other animals out of the world. Australia's National Scientific Agency, CSIRO, has reported feral cats kill an average of 1.8 billion Australian animals each year, equivalent to 2,000 native animals every minute. A terrible number, realizing that this situation cannot last. the Australian government allows citizens to participate in wildcat hunting activities. However, this can only be done with a hunting license and in strict compliance with government regulations. The goal is to reduce the number of feral cats in the area, maintain the ecosystem, and ensure safety and efficiency in hunting. About 211,000 feral cats were culled in 2023. Dozens of them were hunting possums in the mountains, and others were hunting at night in remote and arid regions of Australia. Night comes when feral cats are active in searching for food. The instinct of a predator allows them to operate effectively at night. However, they did not know that in the distance there were eyes watching and gun muzzles aiming at them. In order to optimize the effectiveness of hunting wild cats, many people also choose to participate in night hunting activities. This is a natural rule. If you want to catch a predator, you must come when they are hunting. During hunts, farmers can end the lives of feral cats with a shot, but the encroachment of entire feral cat populations cannot. The claws of feral cats have deeply invaded Australia's ecosystem. In the fall, before food is scarce, feral cats will hunt small animals for meals. They move to areas near residential areas to find food. Farmers can always easily see stray cats in their gardens at night through cameras. You see, controlling feral cats is a challenge. Locating feral cat hunting takes a lot of effort. Hunters often use specialized lighting systems combined with infrared hunting lights. This is extremely useful for night hunts, helping hunters clearly identify the target and location of feral cats. But things are not that simple. These stray cats are much more difficult to deal with than we think. They are extremely sensitive and have the ability to sense their surroundings very quickly. Besides, cats' eyesight at night is very good, so once they have identified the target, they quickly rush in and catch their prey. Therefore, hunters need to be extremely cautious. If detected, feral cats will run away or return to attack. A night hunting group needs at least 2 people to support each other. All they need to do is hide, quietly observe, and wait. When they detect a target, they will move their hunting equipment towards the target, aim, and bring back their bodies. In fact, besides the hardship, hunting also brings many interesting things. You won't know when the wild cats will appear, but the feeling of discovering and defeating them will certainly make you excited. This joy does not come from killing, but farmers know that every shot they fire will help prevent the encroachment of feral cat populations, or at least discourage feral cats in the development area. In addition to hunting, feral cat trapping is also allowed in all parts of Australia. All measures are the same. The goal is to limit the number of aggressive predators. Although feral cats have only existed in Australia for the last 200 years or so, they have left a destructive mark on the Australian landscape. In recent years, Australian farmers have also made strong plans to limit the invasion of feral cats. You see, they are very determined to fight these cute-looking assassins.